Farmer Frano commented on the duet I did with the Amish singing video and said, "What's the purpose of these singings?" So the purpose of the singings is a youth meeting. Its purpose is also, I guess, to worship. And if you want to date, you have to go to the singings. In our community, it was mandatory to go to the singings. You couldn't stay at home if you wanted to, unless you had a good excuse. Because if you didn't go to the singings, they assumed you were out partying, And in my case, it would have probably been true. These singings are held at the place where they had church that day, the residence where they had church. And they start at 8 o'clock in our community, and they ended at 9:30, or sometimes a little early if I started the last hymn 5-10 minutes too early. We got away with leaving a little bit early, but we'd get complaints if we, started it way too early. And one time my uncle even stood up and said, "Don't you think you should keep singing, in front of everybody?" And I'm like, I've had enough. And I walked out the door, and my one buddy followed me, and everybody else sat back down, and they sang another 2 hymns. But in our community, it was 8 until 9:30. In Ashland, where my girlfriend lived, it was 8 until 10. It was 2 hours of singing. And usually you'd show up a little bit before the singing, and I was always a wild kid, so I would drink some beer before the singing occasionally, maybe once or twice. And then after the singing, do the same thing. Hang around for an hour or two and drink some beers back in the woods with my buddies. Once I had a girlfriend, then I would leave the singing, talk to my buddies for a couple minutes, and then I'd hitch up my horse, go pick up my girlfriend, and then I would go to her house and, drop her off at the house. I'd go to the barn, unhitch my horse, and then go inside and sit on the couch in the living room right outside her parents' bedroom door and talk to her until 2 in the morning. Once 2 in the morning hit, I was supposed to go home. Of course, sometimes, you fell asleep, because I wasn't used to staying up that late. Sometimes I'd fall asleep and wake up and it'd be almost 3, and I'd be panicked, hoping that nobody would find out that I was there past the hour I was supposed to be. And actually, I think I mentioned before that I was held back from baptism twice. 2 times I was held back because I didn't follow the rules, and the third time I finally got baptized. Well, that was the one thing I was held back for. The second time was for staying on a date until almost 4 in the morning. And it's because I had fallen asleep. I had a few beers the night before, but I fell asleep, and I stayed until 4 in the morning, and I got busted for it.